Welcome back to 100 Pounds Down, where we preach the gospel of GLP-1 and the word is good. If you are thinking about taking weight loss injections like Mounjaro, Zepbound, Wegovy, or Ozempic, you're already in the middle of your weight loss journey, or you're heading toward that maintenance phase and wondering, what comes next? Bring it in. This is GLP-1 Bootcamp Part 1. Before you can really understand how these meds work, you need to understand how your body works. And so that's what this video is all about. When you eat, your digestive system secretes enzymes that break the food down and pull out nutrients. Any carbohydrates you eat are turned into a type of sugar called glucose, which floats around in your blood. Your blood sugar level is a measure of how much glucose is floating around in your blood. Your pancreas's job is to stabilize your blood sugar within a safe range. To do this, it secretes two different glucose modulating or sugar managing hormones, glucagon and insulin. Glucagon makes your blood sugar levels go up, while insulin makes them go down. They do this by telling your body what to do with the sugar. Either use it immediately for energy, convert it and store it away to be used at a later time, or pull it out of storage so it can be used. In an optimal situation, your blood sugar is neither too high nor too low, because insulin and glucagon are both doing a good job managing things. When your blood sugar is too high on a regular basis, that could indicate that your body doesn't have enough insulin to bring it back down. Your glucagon is doing the most or too much. Or there's some kind of dysfunction where the cells in your liver, your fat cells, or your muscles aren't obeying the insulin's commands. Chronically high blood sugar levels or chronic hyperglycemia can result in type 2 diabetes. So let's review really fast with this knowledge check. What is your pancreas's job? Stabilizing your blood sugar in a safe range. What are the names of the two glucose modulating, aka sugar managing, hormones made by your pancreas? Glucagon and insulin. Now we have to talk about your gastrointestinal system, also known as your gut. There's way more sophistication and more specific pieces to your GI system than I'm explaining here, but I'm not a doctor and I don't want to get too in the weeds. So to simplify things, just think of your gut as being divided into sort of two main zones. Your upper GI system, which is the top half, which includes your stomach, and your lower GI system, the bottom half, which includes most of your intestines. Remember how I mentioned earlier that your digestive system breaks food down and pulls out nutrients? That's just one of your gut's jobs. Another one of your gut's jobs is to help get rid of what's left over after all of the nutrition has been pulled out. And surprise, your gut has yet another job. It makes two special hormones. The fancy group name for these two hormones is called incretins. And your gut only releases them when you take in nutrients. In other words, typically only when you eat or drink something. So before I go any further, I need to explain peptides. Again, I'm not a doctor or a scientist, so I'm going to try to keep this super simple. A peptide is a type of hormone, but it's just a short one. By short, I mean, if we were to pretend for a second that, say, the chemical formula for a hormone was a chain of every letter in the alphabet just strung together. A peptide is just a hormone where the chemical formula's chain of letters is just not as long, okay? So remember that. Now, back to incretins. The first of the two incretins just might sound familiar to you because it's called glucagon-like peptide 1, or GLP-1. Its name is pretty self-explanatory. It's called that because, chemically speaking, it looks very similar to glucagon. Remember what I just explained about peptides? So let's apply our pretend example again here. If the chemical formula for glucagon was every letter in the alphabet strung together, GLP-1's chemical formula would be maybe only the letters A through K. Get it? GLP-1 is made by your lower gut, and it does two things. One, it makes your pancreas generate more insulin, and two, it makes your pancreas generate less glucagon. The second incretin is called glucose-dependent insulinotropic polypeptide, or GIP. That's a mouthful, right? Well, one of the things about medical terminology is that a lot of times the way something is named is designed to actually give you clues about what it is or what it does. There's an awesome guy here on YouTube who I follow, Chubby Emu, who is a doctor, and he tells medical stories. And in every episode, he breaks down the medical terminology like this. So I've got to give him a shout out here. I've also put a link to his channel in my description. Okay, so let's break this down. Glucose dependent. That's telling us that this incretin is sensitive to sugar. The presence of sugar is going to make it do something. Insulinotropic. So in medicine, the suffix tropic means being turned towards something, having an affinity for something, or having an effect on something. So here it has an affinity for insulin. And then polypeptide. The prefix poly has several meanings in medicine, but here the meaning is many or multiple. A polypeptide is a hormone made up of multiple short-chain peptides. So let's put it together. This incretin is a sugar-sensitive hormone with an affinity for insulin and a chemical formula made up of multiple peptides strung together. It's made by the cells in your upper gut, and it makes your pancreas generate more insulin and more glucagon. It also helps the cells in your pancreas that are responsible for making the insulin grow and survive. Got it? I know that was a lot. So let's review the info about your gut with another knowledge check. What is the fancy name for the special hormones that are released by your gut when you eat or drink? Incretins. What are the names of the two incretins? And it's okay if you just give the letter names. Glucagon-like peptide 1, or GLP-1, and glucose-dependent insulinotropic polypeptide, or GIP. What are the two things GLP-1 does? It makes your pancreas generate more insulin, and it makes your pancreas generate less glucagon. What are the three things GIP does? It makes your pancreas generate more insulin. It makes your pancreas generate more glucagon. And it helps your pancreatic insulin cells grow and thrive. Great job. So that's the tea on how your body works, part 1. In the next video in this series, we'll get into how your metabolism works and the idea of insulin resistance or metabolic resistance. So stay tuned. If you think weight loss injections could be right for you, talk to a doctor, preferably an endocrinologist or an obesity medicine specialist, because they're the doctors who know the best about how these drugs work. As always, I'm not a doctor and I'm not sponsored by any pharmaceutical companies. I'm just one woman who's sharing her experiences and her opinions. And if you find my channel helpful, that's right, you bet, hit that trifecta: like, subscribe, notifications, and I'll see you on the other side.